me shift to Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Urban Meyer recently was hired by the Jacksonville Jaguars to become their next head coach, and I believe Urban Meyer is actually a perfect fit for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I really like the situation that Urban Meyer is walking into, because when we look at the Jacksonville Jaguars job, what do they have that other teams don't have? Well, they got a ton of cap space. They got the youngest roster in all football right now. The youngest NFL roster right now today belongs to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you're not inheriting a lot of bad contracts. You've got some young talent on this roster. James Robinson, DJ Chark, Josh Allen. These are guys that have the potential to be star-level players. You're working with the first overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. So you could draft Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence, whichever quarterback you feel is best suited for you. If you want to trade down and maybe get a guy like Trey Lance while acquiring more picks to help build up the team, that's a possibility as well. Zach Wilson's also a possibility potentially. And also, the Jacksonville Jaguars have a second first-round pick. They got the 25th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. They got 2 second-round picks as well, a third-round pick, and 2 fourth-round picks. So they got a ton of draft capital, ton of cap space, a young roster, and expectations are super-duper low in Jacksonville compared to maybe going to the New York Jets, okay? Because in New York, that fan base is brutal, and they are unrealistic fans, bottom line. No other way to slice it, okay? And the good thing about Urban Meyer transitioning from being a college head coach to an NFL head coach is he gets more of a true off season. In college football, the recruiting cycle never stops. You're always going out there trying to recruit and find players, and that can be very daunting and very tiring for some NFL head coaches. No doubt about it. And Urban Meyer is a head coach that in the past has dealt with some health issues, so that definitely could be very beneficial to Urban Meyer to have a true offseason to really just rest his body, rest his mind, sort of get away from the game of football for a couple of months, then get back to the cycle of things, you know what I'm saying? And look, when it comes to what Urban Meyer is going to bring to the Jacksonville Jaguars, you know, what's a successful tenure for Urban Meyer in Jacksonville? Because ultimately, I don't think Super Bowls and multiple conference championships should be the ultimate end-all expectations for Urban Meyer. And by the way, for most NFL head coaches, yes, you want them to come in and help you win a Super Bowl, but ultimately, in some of the smaller markets, you know, in some of these towns where these fans have, you know, dealt with terrible football for so long, really, in my opinion, I think a lot of these fans just want a competitive football team once again. Obviously, you know, Urban Meyer is going to go all in and try to win the Jacksonville Jaguars a Super Bowl. Do I think it'll happen? Maybe, maybe not. We shall see. It's very hard to win Super Bowls, no doubt about it. And listen, it's going to take a while for this Jacksonville Jaguars team to turn things around. This team won 1 game in 2020. There's a reason why they were going out there trying to hire a guy like Urban Meyer. There's a reason this team has the first overall pick, because they're not a good football team right now. So it's going to take time for Urban Meyer to bring in his guys, establish his culture, you know, get familiar with this coaching staff, you know. He's going to hire a pretty good staff, I think, you know, because Urban Meyer's a smart guy to know what he doesn't know. You know, the really good leaders kind of know what they don't know, and they get people who do know what they don't know to help them out, you know what I'm saying? And look, success for Urban Meyer in Jacksonville is him making them a consistently competitive football team once again, and hopefully getting them consistently to the playoffs year in, year out with a Justin Fields, with a Trevor Lawrence, when things start to really get rocking and rolling in Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? So look, as long as Urban Meyer can allow the Jacksonville Jaguars to be an interesting team that draws headlines, as long as they're fun to watch, as long as Urban Meyer puts the Jacksonville Jaguars back on the map, I deem that success for Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer had a very good career as a college football head coach. He had 17 years as a college football head coach. He won 85% of his games in college, which is unprecedented. He won 2 national titles at Florida. He won a national title at Ohio State. And he also had a lot of success at Bowling Green and Utah. 2 good to great programs, Not necessarily great, but they're solid programs that needed help. And Urban Meyer, he gave them a boost, you know what I'm saying? And my only concern with Urban Meyer is this. When things get tough, will Urban Meyer be able to take the heat? And by the way, I actually do think that due to the fact that Jacksonville is sort of a slept-on football team as far as, not being the biggest market, not being a team that gets headlined on ESPN a bunch of times or Fox Sports 1, that actually could help Urban Meyer, because the thing about Urban Meyer at Ohio State and Florida was this. When there were some scandals, when there was some baggage going on, Urban Meyer seemed to be underwhelmed by the problems that went on at Ohio State and Florida. And ultimately, Urban Meyer was a smart guy and pretty much said, hey, I'm going to get out of town before this mess, gets even messier. So I just wonder, once Urban Meyer starts gaining success with the Jaguars, how long can he sustain that success? And when things start to go south, will Urban Meyer chicken out, or will Urban Meyer just continue to build up the program and try to get the right people in the building and turn that bad boy around? Maybe Urban Meyer necessarily didn't chicken out when he was with Florida and Ohio State, just because he won national titles there before the chaos and the mess got there. So Urban Meyer didn't necessarily chicken out. He just smartly left before there was a bunch of chaos. So, look, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you do worry about that a little bit, but I do expect Urban Meyer to sort of maybe potentially turn this thing around quickly. I could see the Jacksonville Jaguars being a playoff team as early as year 3 in the Urban Meyer era if Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence or whichever quarterback that Urban Meyer drafts is the real deal. And if they spend some money in free agency and whatnot as well. So ultimately, I believe Urban Meyer is going to be a great fit with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he has a chance to make them relevant again if he can get the quarterback situation figured out, and if the Jaguars can also hit on their next general manager, no doubt about it. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.